a last preseason game for this main group. Obviously not the way you wanted it to go, but sort of what do you hope was the biggest lesson that you guys learned in this, knowing that the next one for you guys is the real deal?
Obviously one of the best practices to work on system and game is during games. So I think we made some progress each game with system-wise, but I think we're still not there when it comes to battles, and I think that's one thing that we can definitely get better at, and I know everyone here in the room knows to how to improve that, and we're going to do that through some hard working practices where that detail is going to be the game changer for us. I feel like today we did some progress with some D-zone stuff, with some O-zone stuff. I think everything it really comes down to was our 50-50 battles. We lost too many of them. We played too little with the puck and too much without the puck, and that's just what it came down to. It came down to battles and those extra little inches to get the puck back that we didn't get back.
You're all very prideful athletes and want to win every game you play, but does a switch kind of flip now, like have to flip in everybody's brains?
I think all of us want to win every shift. Doesn't matter if it's preseason or not, but obviously in preseason there's a process and you're trying to learn from it. You try to get better from it, and obviously we want to play more games. It's fun to play games, and you learn a lot from them. And but now we're looking forward to some really dialed in practices where we can all feel that we improve even more. And we're a committed group. We know what we're capable of. We know what the next step is going to be for us, how to get better, and I think we have control of that to get better with our battles.
Yes, but you mentioned not winning your battles. Last game, Coach Keefe said that maybe you guys didn't play as hard as you could have. Do you think that was maybe part of the effort tonight too?
Yeah, I think it's everyone battles different, but you still got to get into the body. You got to have two hands on your stick when you go into battles, and if you don't, the guy who competes the hardest is going to win the puck, and especially in the second period, they won way too many of those battles, and we lost too many, and that's why we played too much in our own zone and without the puck, and we didn't create enough. So that's going to be our one thing that we, players to players, really have to be hard on each other and dial it down.
The entire roster maybe hasn't played together too much yet so far, but is there any concern heading into the regular season? This was the last preseason game until you start regular season games.
No, not really. We know that the guys in the room, doesn't matter if it's injuries and all that stuff, that happens throughout the year. We have a group that the guys that we had put in the lineup to play, we all have to play a certain way and play the same way, and that's what makes great teams. It doesn't matter who comes in and out of the lineup. The teams follow the same strategy and playing the same way, and that's what we're committed to do.
Lazar, a last game for this group. Obviously, probably not the way you would want it to go in terms of the scoreline, but over the course of the games that you guys have played, obviously so much new stuff. Where do you feel like the biggest improvements have been in terms of grasping onto what Sheldon Keefe wants from you guys?
Yeah, I think every game we played, like you said, there's glimpses. Now it's up to us to kind of put together shift after shift and continue to build that final identity. You can tell some plays a little tentative. You're thinking you want to be in the right spots and whatnot. And we got about a week here to kind of have some conversations, practice, and tie it all together. It doesn't really matter what system you're playing. The work ethic, the battles, the compete, it can be there. And again, I think we have that extra gear. That when TV timeout, coach kind of said, let's pick it up, let's get going. He shouldn't have to say that. So I think that's an area for us that, we can start, we can be assertive and kind of play with that, that swag that we have. We have a lot of good hockey players in this team. We've got to believe in ourselves and we put that to work.
So how do you hope that next week, like the week that we have in Prague leading up to those two games, what do you sort of hope is what you guys can accomplish in that? Because you're not playing games, and that can be very different than playing preseason games.
We're going to have a lot of video, a lot of good, a lot of bad, but it's a great opportunity to have those lines of communication. The entire staff has been great back and forth with the players, and ask questions. As a player, you can't be afraid to ask questions if you're not sure. The quicker it becomes second nature, the more success we're going to have. So preseason's behind us. Time to turn that page and get ready to go for real now.
How difficult can a preseason be in the sense when you're learning all these new systems with a new like so much has been different than what this team has been used to? How difficult is that to trust your instincts but also play within the system?
Yeah, it's about that balance, right? And again, every player has those qualities that makes them an NHL player for a reason. So you got to stay true to who you are as a player and where you fit in within that system. There's definitely areas, like you said, when we dictate the pace, we have a lot of freedom to do what we want. We want to be a puck possession team. We want to be attacking, get in the interior of their zone. But to do that, we have to be in the right spots in the breakouts. So sometimes, I think we're looking kind of for that home run instead of, making that first play and just that process like I talked about. So again, it's, like I said, a lot of new information. It's almost like going back to school. But again, you try and make baby steps here and there. But I know this group will be ready for next week.
You talked about that TV timeout. What has Coach Keefe's message been throughout this past week and especially these past couple days?
I can't really repeat anything he said. So, but no, he's been awesome. It's that fine line again where he understands that, we are going to play through our mistakes. We're going to find it, but then he also, is helping us out and celebrates those good plays that we have. So it's that fine balance. And again, if someone gets singled out, it's not for bad. We're all on the same team here. We're all trying to get to that elite level where we have that consistency and we talk about that standard from game to game. So again, glimpses of it. Hopefully we can tie a full 60 on when we get over to Prague.
You mentioned the glimpses. Is there more optimism that you're getting to where you're supposed to be, or maybe the little concern that you're not there yet?
No, I mean, you always look at the optimism. Tied for first place right now with everyone in the league. So again, you got to go in. It's a clean slate. Believe in yourself. And again, I think everyone's played these systems. You understand it. The more reps you get, the better you feel. The less you have to think. The more you just play. So again, every day is a step in the right direction, and we just got a good week of work ahead of us.
Last game, Coach Keefe said that maybe the battle level wasn't there, the effort. Do you think that was the case tonight, or something different?
Yeah, he talked about just kind of being that half a stride, half a stick length away. You can say that, you need to be there, you need different slots, but it's just a matter of digging in, going through bodies, going through the puck. And when you do that, it's pretty incredible, and the momentum's changed of the game. We controlled it for a lot. We got unlucky with a lot of chances. We had our fair share. So again, you kind of try and take the scoreboard out of it. Of course, you're going to be a little deflating with those breakdowns, but you learn from it and get going, so we'll be ready.
Sheldon, you talked the last game about, maybe not seeing that extra effort. Where do you sort of gauge what your team did tonight in that as a response? This
was a funny game, I don't think this was effort-based so much as we made some mistakes. Obviously our penalty kill gives up 3, so, penalty killing had been quite strong actually for us. And we had some good kills in the second period, but, when you give up 3, it's going to be a tough night. Obviously we give up a breakaway. So these kind of things kind of piled on in the game and took the focus away from some of the good things we were doing. I liked lots about our first period, especially the Heischer line. Their group had some really good shifts in the game. That's probably the major positive in the game is that line. We're not happy with the results here at all today, but I feel differently about this one than I did the other night.
How do you kind of approach the next week knowing that, the next game for this main group is going to be that regular season opener? There's no more preseason games. What do you hope this next week brings with the practice and maybe video that you're doing?
We get through this phase. It's been a busy stretch and trying to get a lot done in a short amount of time. But we'll be happy now just to focus on one group. We'll get a day off tomorrow, which is, has been needed, not just for the players, but, like even yesterday, we kept them off the ice, but they had a lot of stuff going on off the ice that they had to get done. So tomorrow will be their first real day off, in quite a bit, and staff need a day off as well, and they'll come in, we'll get a really good practice day on Sunday. Travel out to Prague and we'll get some time there to get our game in order, and I think the urgency of the situation that in itself should bring things to the forefront in terms of the effort and the detail that's required. So that's really all we can do is turn the page here and be excited about what's coming.
Coach Curtis mentioned maybe starting to put the pieces together. Is there optimism that you're going in the direction you want to be in, or is there maybe less pessimism that you're not there yet?
Well, there's, I guess saying this game is different than the previous ones. I actually thought some of the things that we really focused on here today with our D-zone coverage and closing quickly and getting out of our end, I actually thought we were much better in that area tonight than we have been in any other game. Didn't spend very much time on our end at 5-on-5. as you can tell, it's sort of reflective of the shots on goal. We didn't give up very much here tonight. The chances we gave up were big, and then of course the penalty kill. So we felt like we actually plugged some holes here today in their game and made some improvements. And then the penalty kill started leaking oil. So that's little things that are going to happen in preseason, and we'll just stay with it and obviously look to be as prepared as we can be when we get out to Prague.
You left Jake in for the full 60. What did you just think of his game? Give it 5.
Yeah, I thought not a lot of volume of shots, and then some high danger chances. So it's a tough night for a goalie that way. So I think there's probably one there for sure that he definitely wants back. But aside from that, I think there's some pretty great shots from very dangerous areas. So we didn't do a good enough job protecting him here tonight from those high danger chances. And then in other areas, we did a good enough job to not let him get feeling the puck and get confident and get comfortable. So makes it a strange game for a goalie.
And obviously, Jack didn't dress tonight. Was that always the plan, or was that maybe a late audible?
Yeah, Jack. He got a Charlie horse in the last game he played. It's very minor. Obviously, he practiced today. In fact, once we made the decision to not play him here tonight, he stayed and got extra work with the second group. So if this is a regular season game, he's absolutely playing. But he's of the mind that he wants to be certain that he's 100% when we get to Prague. So we gave him the day here today, and we expect that he'll be ready to go and ready to be Jack when we get to Prague.
What was your message to the group during the TV timeout?
We had 9 TV timeouts.
The one where they all crowded around the...
Just so I thought we were one stride away on every single play on that, and I thought if we could just dig in a little bit more, things would start to tilt. I thought we came out of that particular timeout. I thought we actually finished that second period quite strongly in the last 5 minutes. So, pretty good example of what we're capable of, and we would like to bring more of that to and put it all together shift to shift.